who retained their championship and who lost their titles? Find out as we review WWE Clash of Champions for 2019 on WrestleDOWN. Hey guys, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to war.
This is Mustang Mike and you're watching WGS-TV.
What's up guys, I'm the Wrestle Gamer. Welcome back to WrestleDOWN right here on WGS-TV. We got a lot to talk about as it pertains to WWE Clash of Champions. A lot to talk about. A lot of the matches that were somewhat interesting, and a lot of the matches we were left wondering why. Joining me on the review tonight, first off, ladies and gentlemen, you know him as the Studly one himself, the Studly man, Ashley. Ashley, how you doing?
Sunday. You know what that means.
And of course, you know her as our resident outsider giving her own perspective on the show tonight. It's Kitty. Kitty, how you doing?
I'm good. My like it just learned Thunder Punch.
Yes, Nuzlocke for the win.
It's
so I'm excited.
It's Night of Champions. Oh wait,
no.
Excuse me. That doesn't exist anymore. It's Clash of Champions, where every championship, including the 24/7 championship, were to be defended. So what happened?
Did you say Slash of Champions?
Well, we could.
Is that
Flash?
Is that what we're calling it? Because it was just a giant piss break. Slash of Champions.
Or we could call it the Rash of Champions. You know that the show was so bad that it left an itchy rash all over your body. Wait, why am I itching?
No.
Well, anyway,
because you can get. Sadly, you can get an ointment for that. This show, you can't get an ointment in the books. Done.
So, what happened at tonight's show? To answer that question, let's talk about the Clash. Now, sadly for the kickoff match, the first one, the Cruiserweight Championship on the line. Ash, you're going to have to help me with this. Lince, Dorado, Drew Gulak, and Humberto...
Carrilo.
The New Orleans Saints game was on at the exact same time, so I was not really interested in the Cruiserweight Championship match per se, so Ashley, can you talk a little bit about that since I didn't pay too much attention to it?
It was a pretty good match. There wasn't much crowd reaction because I don't know if there were people sort of coming in. It was a good little showcase for sort of all three of them. The ending was very much akin to what we saw on Monday with the triple threat King of the Ring semi-final. Basically, Humberto hit his Aztec press finisher on Dorado. Gulak threw Humberto into the ring post and out the ring. Rolled up Dorado, stole the win. Gulak retains, and that's the last you're going to see of the Cruiserweight title. Maybe on WWE pay-per-views, because with the direction that it seems to be that they're going with 205 Live basically being got rid of and now being amalgamated somewhat into what NXT is going to be doing at Full Sail for the next few months. I'm guessing it's going to be part of that and not going to be part of like Hell in a Cell or future pay-per-views. Who knows? They might be desperate.
Now, Kitty, to quickly bring you up to speed on what Ashley is talking about, starting this week, in fact, this Wednesday night, the NXT product, which I have always spoken about so highly on my channel as being one of the saving graces of WWE, is finally making its move to national-wide TV, as they're going to be debuting on the USA Network this Wednesday night at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central Time, for those of you who are out there. And it'll be a 2-hour show to basically compete with WWE's, with All Elite Wrestling. I would say WWE's next big competition. Would you say, as an outsider looking in, would you be excited or maybe even somewhat interested in watching that program?
I would actually. That sounds really cool. I'm glad for them though. That's a really major step. That's hard to do for a lot of places. So congrats to them.
Yep, so up next, the United States Championship was on the line as AJ Styles defended the title against Cedric Alexander. Am I the only one that has a problem with someone the caliber of an AJ Styles on your kickoff show and not on the main card?
Or Cedric.
Or Cedric Alexander, for that matter. I'm just saying. If anything, this match should have been on the main card. So why was this bumped to kickoff? I have absolutely no idea. Now, the way this match was worked, it initially gave the feeling of AJ dropping the title to Cedric, like with Styles connected with the Styles Clash on the outside of the ring, then throwing Cedric into the ring, and then picking him up before the 3 count. However, the finish came kind of unusually, to say the least. It was Styles first connecting with the Phenomenal Forearm on Cedric, and then immediately, I mean like within a second, following it up with a Styles Clash to pick up the win and retain the United States Championship. And then after the match was over, out would come the OC, Gallows and Anderson, and they laid a beatdown on Cedric, but I'm left wondering for what reason, Ash. I mean, get heat from the crowd?
To bury Cedric Alexander's push? I don't know.
You see, Kitty,
It's just weird.
There are some things. One of the main things that we don't agree with when it comes to WWE is the way that the matches are booked, or the way that the shows are formatted, because we feel that these two talents, AJ Styles and Cedric Alexander, are more deserving to be on the main card of the show rather than the preview show or the kickoff show coming into Clash of Champions. So that's kind of what the issue that me and Ashley have, that we felt that AJ Styles and Cedric Alexander more than deservingly deserve to be on the main card of the actual pay-per-view than the kickoff.
Well, like, who's on the main card?
Yeah.
Well, good.
That's the main issue.
Yeah, that is the main issue. As we talked about the opening match of that main card, it was for the Raw Tag Team Championship, as Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins defended the titles against Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. And if you think about it, having Strowman and Rollins in your opening match of the show makes sense, considering the fact that they're also involved in the Universal Championship match. So regardless of what the outcome of the tag team title match was going to be, you're giving Strowman and Rollins enough time to rest and recover for their second match of the evening. I mean, if you think about it, Ash, I mean, it just makes perfect sense, that they had to be in the opening match.
Yeah, because then it would be like, sort of seemed obvious that like, oh, titles are going to change hands, dissension in the ranks. Because it always happens when people have like 2 or 3 matches on the same card. There's a whole, oh, what's going to happen here? Can they coexist sort of thing?
Well, when it comes to this Raw Tag Team Championship match, there was a bit of a miscommunication with Strowman and Rollins. Strowman would run into Robert Roode, who collided with Rollins, and then left him open for the glorious DDT by Roode, as Roode and Ziggler become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. So, once again, this is a case of WWE taking 2 random singles guys, pairing them together, and putting the tag team titles on them. Is WWE right now actually just shitting all over tag team wrestling?
Well, keep in mind at the same time, how many F5s did Seth kick out of?
A lot. But he couldn't kick out of one glorious DDT.
Yeah, glorious DDT. Dead. Huh?
Well, I mean, if they're gonna have tag teams, they can't always just show the same people, because that would get boring after a while. So maybe they're trying to figure out new combinations with different people, and their combinations lately haven't been too good.
The issue with the combinations is they announced officially today that WWE is having yet another draft. So there's the possibility that Roode or Ziggler could be on a different brand to each other.
Yep.
I think the problem that they're having is that they're not using the characters that the wrestlers have created and matching them with other characters that other wrestlers have made. So they're not matching those characters together.
Plus, I never think I'd say this, considering how sick I was of them. Have the Usos just disappeared?
Where have they gone? When was the last time we actually seen the Usos on either Raw or SmackDown?
When they got done for driving, Braun. So
the SmackDown.
It was around that.
Go ahead.
Remember, it was the Raw reunion when they had the thing with Cena, and Cena was making jokes about them getting arrested, and then they were literally arrested within the next 7 days. And it was just like, oh. So,
yeah, I don't mean to laugh about that. But anyway, up next was the SmackDown Women's Championship match with Bayley defending her title against Charlotte Flair. Now, if you didn't notice, there was a lot of mixed reactions. There was more of a positive reaction for Charlotte Flair, considering the fact that they were in Flair country for the pay-per-view. They were in North Carolina. They were in Charlotte, North Carolina for this pay-per-view. So it makes sense that, you know, the crowd would react positively for a Charlotte Flair. And I don't know if I want to mention Charlotte Flair's assets with Kitty on the call. I might feel a little bit dirty talking about that. Let's just say it starts with a B and it rhymes it starts with a B and it rhymes with oobs.
Yeah.
With this match, however, though, with Bayley and Charlotte, I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody saw the finish of the match the way it happened. For those of you who don't know, Bayley somehow removed the bottom turnbuckle cover behind the referee's back and then shoved Charlotte face first into the exposed turnbuckle, and then almost like a quick pin, and Bayley retains the SmackDown Women's Championship. I don't think anybody saw an outcome like that.
No, but it actually finally established Bayley as being the heel, because she did the whole chicken shit. Yes, grab the title, run the hell away. So,
not to mention the fact Corey Graves was putting her over like crazy.
Yeah, but the problem is Charlotte at some point still wrestled as if she was a heel. And Bayley wrestled at some points like she was still a face. So, I don't know. You know, apparently from the people who were actually in the building, Bayley did get booed quite a lot. Which I didn't really come over, weirdly, on the announcing. So, whether they muted it, and it's like, we can't have her booed too much. It's like, well, why? She's clearly heel. Is it because Charlotte doesn't know how to do anything other than heel? Is that what we're trying to say?
I really don't know. Now, however, folks, for the next two matches, I'm going to have to leave it to the Studley Man Ashley for it, because I actually had to step out to go get some dinner at that point in the show. I'm like, there's really nothing to eat in here right now, so I did have to go get some dinner. So I did miss the next two matches, which the next one was for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Xavier Woods and Big E of the New Day defending against Scott Dawson, and Dash Wilder of the Revival. Ash, you want to talk a little bit about this match?
Yeah, Xavier was back with a big old brace on his knee, which did play into sort of the end. It was a good sort of back and forth thing. Really smart, though, the way that Revival sort of old school played it. Big E got taken out with a shatter machine on the outside. Xavier tried to do a comeback. Dawson chop blocked the said injured knee. Then Revival hit another shatter machine on him, but instead of going for the cover, yanked off the knee brace that Woods had on, and Dawson put on his reverse figure four
Oh.
and Xavier had to tap, meaning that Revival are the first tag team to be Raw, SmackDown, and NXT tag champions. Technically, Gable and Jordan had as well, but if you remember that Jordan did it with Seth, and I think it was Gable and Benjamin, was it? Well, no, Gable and Roode, sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they did it separately, but not actually as the, American Alpha unit. So, Revival are first, I guess, technically.
And keep in mind, folks, that this is a Raw branded tag team now as your SmackDown tag team champions. Where is the logic? You know, I can't even answer. I can answer that.
Draft.
Yeah, the draft. Yeah, the draft.
We have a draft.
So would that mean that with them being the SmackDown tag team champions, they automatically get placed on SmackDown?
The really confusing thing is I've just realised that Fox show on October 4th is going to be the go-home for Hell in a Cell.
What?
So for once... Yeah, because Hell in a Cell is October 6th. So... we might have a go-home show that's actually good, everybody. Anyway.
After that was the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match as...
Whoa. Hold up. We need context.
Okay.
Alexa and Nikki are being interviewed for a promo. And then all of a sudden the boom mic comes in shot and it's like, what's going on? Camera pans across. R-Truth is holding the boom mic with Carmella there. She's like, I'm sorry, other Carmella. I didn't mean to do that. It's just like, then like, I know how to handle a microphone. She's like, so do I. And then pulls it down, sort of as if it's a Mr. Anderson sort of style mic, but with the boom mic. And she's like, attention, R-Truth is backstage. He's holding a boom mic. Any of you that want to try and win the 24/7 title, he's here. Get here now. And then they run off and like yes.
Katie, I gotta tell you, R-Truth with the 24/7 championship, I have to say right now, there are some instances when I look at the title and I'm like, why are they doing this? And then there are other instances, mostly involving R-Truth in the 24/7 championship, that are just comedy gold.
Oh, that's good.
But why wasn't the title defended on this fucking show?
But
what a lie.
I do remember, though, if you think back, I sent you a picture of him when he was disguised as a woman. If you remember that, the big guy that was yeah, that's basically who we're talking about.
He's been disguised as a lot of things. Don't you remember when he replaced he was alongside Shun Yamaguchi and Funaki on the commentary desk? So I can't remember what that was. It was just like, yes. Was it supposed to be like English or something? Oh yes. It was like,
I think so.
They tried to put on English accents or something. I don't know. That is pivotal to the tag match, though, because in the middle of the match, thankfully, when Mandy was in the ring.
Well, hold on. Officially, you have to let everyone know it was Nikki Cross and Alexa defending against Fire and Desire, and the only desire I had was to leave.
No, the Fire was good. The Desire, yeah, a bit too green.
Yeah.
So yeah, just randomly in the when the match was sort of struggling, it had the surprise because out comes R-Truth and Carmella and all the other mid-carders. And R-Truth is in the ring while this tag match is still happening, as if to go, yeah, you can't attack me now because I'm in the ring. And then Bliss, in her infinite wisdom, tries to roll up R-Truth and win the belt. Sadly, only gets a 2 count. Because otherwise, would that have scrapped the entire bloody tag title match?
I
Maybe.
don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Kitty, keep in mind when it comes to the 24/7 championship, anybody is viable to it. I mean, we've had a basketball player as a 24/7 champion. We've had a Fox Sports host as a 24/7 champion. We've had a pregnant woman as a 24/7 champion.
But we haven't gone full DDT. We haven't had, dogs or ladders or Vince McMahon's Hall of Fame star. When we get to that point, the 24/7 title will have reached its zenith. It will have reached path to enlightenment. The heavens will open. Anybody can go up. Buy one, get one free at odd bins. I don't know.
We just wanted to give you some context, some idea of why we kind of talk about the 24/7 championship the way we do.
And to think it all started from a shitty reverse battle royal.
Yeah.
And it's actually become good.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow. Well, no. R-Truth was the one that saved it. But yeah, Nikki pinned Mandy with the twisting neck breaker to get the win. The 24/7 thing rescued the match because it really wasn't that good, which is a shame because it had a Bliss. I keep not wanting to say Alexa in case it triggers people's bloody Amazon echoes.
Mine's off.
Bliss or Cross or Sonya. Mandy, I tell you, because of her execution at that SmackDown promo, I think that made sure that they didn't win the titles. Which would be, that'd be ironic if it was, it's like they were going to win because of her performance. They're just like, nope.
Kitty, just to give you, again, more context, because you are our resident outsider looking in. Mandy Rose, 10-star body, blonde, 10-star body, 1-star mind. Kind of get what I'm saying?
Okay, so she's every blonde in the world. At once.
No.
Well, not every blonde in the world.
No, I'd say probably 5-star. High 5-star wrestling fan. All 7 of you. She knows what to do. The problem is she doesn't know how to properly emote it, and she goes a bit too sort of similar to the script that she's given. I think that's the issue with her.
Like, you are an ugly. Oh, does that hurt your feel? That's basically her execution.
It's like in sort of stage theatre when the person's literally going line for every single sort of line.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not very good at acting, I'm gonna say that much.
Speaking of line,
up next,
the next match.
The Intercontinental Championship was on the line as Shinsuke Nakamura defended the title against The Miz. Sami Zayn was in Nakamura's corner, and on the mic, I would assume they had Zayn on there to build heat with the crowd for both him and Nakamura. That is until after Zayn...
Undertaker. He was talking about the Undertaker thing.
Oh, he's talking about the
and
Undertaker
how his neck is hurting.
Oh, do we also mention the fact that Shinsuke Nakamura had a badass red cape?
Yeah, it was looking more like blooming Alucard from blooming Symphony of the Night. I've seen memes of that. I've seen him looking like Spawn, with Spawn's red cape.
Ooh.
It was just like, put that man in a black suit and a giant red cape, and people will go, let's rip that off from something in video game.
We're going to have to find a picture for Kitty so that way she can see what we're talking about. But it was Zayn making comments about The Undertaker, and then he would also make comments regarding the Thursday night game involving the Carolina Panthers, which is something I would like to call cheap heat. because it's an easy way to get heat with a crowd by insulting their local sports team, and considering the fact that they were in Charlotte, North Carolina, the Panthers' cheap shot was Zayn's best bet, or worst bet, if you think about it, because after that, Zayn's mic was cut out. So I guess somebody on the back was like, no, Zayn shouldn't have said that, no, cut his mic, cut his mic, cut his mic! And that's essentially what happened.
Oh, shit.
Everything okay, Kenny?
Well, I'm playing Nuzlocke and I forgot to buy more Pokeballs.
Oh.
Oh.
I ran out, so I'm killing my fourth Pokemon because I was stupid. It was a Togetic too, so I could have had a Togekiss.
I'm looking at some other pictures on Twitter because I sent one over to Kitty to have a look at. I completely forgot that one of his attires back for one of the, I think, Wrestle Kingdom shows had him basically with a Statue of Liberty sort of like crown on because of his, Mercury sort of ties. And the cape looks pretty similar-ish, so I guess we're just doing a half-assed version. You can't be the Statue of Liberty. Just be Alucard from Symphony of the Night. Nerds will get it.
Also, note to Sami Zayn,
Oh, I'm an idiot again.
Talk to Joel Gertner about how to put on a neck brace. As for the match...
No! Tell the costume department, which may or not be Mikaze, because it probably just is a generic neck brace. Tell somebody how to fasten it properly.
Well,
Bobby Heenan's just like...
Yeah. Well, several times when Miz had the advantage in the match and was on the brink of securing the Intercontinental Championship, Zayn would serve as a distraction, as he did when Miz hit the skull-crushing finale on Nakamura. However, the finish of the match was Nakamura hitting the Kinshasa on Miz to pick up the win and retain the Intercontinental Championship. And actually, something that we were talking about and that you brought up while as we were watching this, as he felt that this is leading to, you said, Nakamura versus Undertaker.
I thought maybe, but because at first I was like, well, we've got to have Undertaker do something at Crown Jewel because that's the law. Undertaker has to wrestle in Saudi Arabia because they have money, and WWE has the money, and Saudi has the money, and Undertaker is like, give me more money, and so money.
Isn't Saudi still wanting Ultimate Warrior and Sting or something like that?
Who knows? Maybe. But
Kitty, here's the thing.
I can
in
just
Saudi don't know Ultimate Warrior passed away several years ago.
No, the guy. I think the Saudis might. The Saudis might. The guy that was sort of running the show, the Prince, didn't. But I think the Prince has got other issues.
Yeah. But this is not a political show.
I know it's not supposed to be, but WWE keeps forcing our hands because they keep going. So it's like... That's the thing, because I was like, well, they're clearly building to something involving Undertaker and Sami Zayn, and I'm going, well, it's obviously going to be Saudi, and then I'm like, oh, wait. Because of his serious stuff, he doesn't want anything to do with Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia doesn't want anything to do with Sami Zayn. So it's like, well, it's going to have to get done before or after then, I guess.
Well,
with the shenanigans, I would not be surprised if we get a rematch at Hell in a Cell. Whether it's a Hell in a Cell match, I don't know.
Do you think they would ever go like lockdown and have every match inside Hell in a Cell?
No, then it becomes less special. Also, at the same time, there is previous history between Shane and Undertaker.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you Undertaker is the voice of the voiceless, he's gonna do something with Shane McMahon and get rid of him. Because because the problem is when SmackDown gets to Fox, if there's lackluster shows from SmackDown, Fox is gonna be angry, and you don't want to peeve off actual sort of free TV.
Well, up
It's not
next-
like cable with a few handhold of people getting. This is Fox. This is one of the big four that everybody can get for nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, Fox is free. It's not a paid. It's not a paid
Yeah.
channel.
So it's the
Excuse me.
most publicity they've ever had, apart from maybe when they had Saturday Night's Main Event and all those shows on NBC back in the day. It's that big. So
Everything okay,
what
Kenny?
we're trying to say is Nakamura. She's struggling with Nuzlocke, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
No, I just drank some soda. No, I'm sad that I lost the Togetic because I actually did have a Pokeball that a little girl gave me and I forgot about it. It's like, fuck.
Damn
I
that
could
little
have
girl.
caught it. And
Damn
no,
that
I
little
killed it.
Nakamura
Ah.
won, by the way.
Yep. Nakamura.
He did a Kinshasa
Yep.
stuff, but
Up next, the Raw Women's Championship was on the line as Becky Lynch defended the title against Sasha Banks. Needless to say, there was a lot of interest around this match, considering how the build to this match went. From Banks returning several weeks ago, attacking Lynch multiple times with a chair, to Becky getting a measure of revenge, and so on. I can't remember the last time I watched a Raw Women's Championship match as intense as this one was.
which is what it had to be, because it's probably one of the only bright points of this average, boring pay-per-view. Because it felt like, you know, it was an actual sort of feud. So much so, nobody was booing anybody. You know, Sasha is this heel. Oh, look how battered she is. They're cheering her. They've solved the Bailey issue by having her do something sort of as stupid as that to make her look like a cheap-ass heel. But Sasha was just being the boss. Becky was being the man. Did you know she was called the man? I think they mentioned it probably 50 times.
Yeah.
She wasn't Becky, she was just the man.
Yeah, Becky Lynch
And
Kitty
Ric
is known
Flair
as
is going, you bastards.
Becky Lynch in WWE Kitty is known as the man.
Cool. And it makes sense why I have so many of her on my cards. Super
Yes.
cards.
Yep.
She is the in thing. But it was a really good sort of emotional sort of match. And then the convoluted finish.
Let's talk about that. First, Banks would go for a steel chair and tossed it into the ring. As the referee went to dispose of said chair, Sasha would grab another one and strike Becky in the ribs with it and follow it up with a shining wizard, but Becky would kick out of it. Banks, out of frustration, would go for yet another steel chair, but the ref took it from her and a tug of war ensued until Becky got back up and had the chair in her hands. She would then swing for Sasha Banks, but Sasha ducked and Becky would end up striking the referee. Then the fight would still...
Well, he turned into it because he was like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm stood here. Oh, wait, I can't do a headshot. Oh, turn.
I'll turn.
Oh, that
Oh,
was
in
like
the
death.
shoulder. Oh, I'm dead. Yeah.
That was like death.
And then he stood there. He lay there for like what? I'm gonna say good. What? 5-10 minutes when all of this thing was transpiring with Becky and Sasha. Like when the fight spilled to the outside and into the crowd. At one point, Becky applying the disarm her with Sasha's arm stuck in the guardrail. And then they ended up in the concessions. I loved it. I love this part where Becky gave Sasha a mustard treatment on her back.
Yes. Then it came back. Apparently, when they were going up the steps, one of the commentary team said, Becky's been disqualified.
Yes.
That's the only reference to it, by the way. They keep sort of referencing, you know, the match is over sort of thing. Thing is, bell didn't ring. You know, because of the hit on the official, it was as if it was like, oh, should we do it behind their back? Sort of thing. There were people laughing in the crowd when, you know, they went off into the concessions, came back, came down, did the disarmer in the chair sort of in the ring as well. And, you know, they were sort of, you know, booing the breaking up of the fight by the referees and the officials and let them fight. And then bloody Mike Rome had to go, I've just been informed that Becky Lynch has been disqualified, and it's like, it took you 10 minutes to work out that Becky got disqualified for hitting the official, even if it was accidental. Why didn't you just do it immediately and let the rest of it sort of naturally take its course, rather than it sort of took away the impact, no pun intended, of the whole sequence of events in the match, because it became this sort of farcical, so is this behind the referee's back? Is this being allowed? Is this a thing? And then as if it's like fucking, I'm trying to remember. If it's, like 7 days to die or something, after 5 minutes the bloody body despawns and you can't get your stuff back. The referee just disappeared into thin air.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
Kitty, you played 7 Days to Die before. You know what we're talking about. However, on a side note, the whole mustard thing, I don't know what that was about. Maybe that's a kink between Sasha and her husband. I will say this, though. In the words of our friend Double Vampire, we don't kink shame here unless it's something really, 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 really stupid.
It was the only condiment available. It could have been ketchup. I doubt it would have been vinegar. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know what they have in arenas. I never go to arenas.
No, they've had mayonnaise before, mustard, ketchup, but I think those are like the three main condiments, or at least from the arenas I've been to with the Cajun Dome and the Superdome. It's been, ketchup, mayo, and mustard. Usually like the top three. But imagine us talking about condiments on a wrestling podcast. Up next, the WWE Championship was on the line as Kofi Kingston defended the title against Randy Orton. Match started as
brought to you by Dave Bautista.
by Dave Bautista. Yeah, the match.
Well, yeah, because it's like they put the advert on saying Dave Bautista is now available in Gears 5, which apparently is as long as you start the game, go to the press start screen between like now and the end of October, you get Batista for free or something.
Something to that extent.
Rod Ferguson's tweet was very fitting because it did have hashtag "Give me what I want." So they're embracing that, but then at the same time, this match was actually sponsored by Gears 5. I'm like, oh,
now
does that mean it's going to be Brown like most of the Gears franchise has been?
Oh God. There were
sadly it was it wasn't Brown. It was just plodding and boring.
Yeah, because it did have a couple of high points. I did like the Kofi lighting up the chest of Orton with those chops to the point where you actually saw the welt marks developing. There was a little bit of a mark. Yeah, bicep. Yeah. Orton in the signature repeated backdrop suplexes were really well done too. But at one point, we felt that we were going to see an RKO off the top. Orton set up Kofi for a superplex, and then it would get countered, and then we thought we were about to see that RKO spot, but Kofi managed to get off the top rope before that happened. However, things did come around when Orton struck with the RKO, but was too close to the ropes when he executed the pin attempt on Kofi.
You missed out the big bit right before that. He did the IEDDT before it, the power slam, the scoop slam, whatever you want to call it, and he pinned him, and he's like, "How did I not win?" And it's like, you never win with that. You win with the diamond cutter because it's the diamond cutter, or the punt because it's the punt. You don't. This is literally like a video game. You don't win with the signature. You win with the finisher.
Yes,
please.
Dallas Patriots saying that's not a bad
That's going to
thing.
be. I need that to be. I need that to be a new movement in 2K19 and the upcoming 2K20. Or you win matches with Orton, not with the RKO, not with the punt kick, but just with the scoop slam. It's just like.
Didn't Jim Powers have a power slam as his finisher move back in the 90s? in WCW? Because I vaguely remember Jim
Probably.
Powers, and his move was a power slam, but I think it was a power slam off the top rope, though, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe somebody in the comment section can enlighten us. But however, the finish of the match was Kofi. Yeah, Orton would try the punt, missed. He tried pinning,
just like most of the NFL players this week.
pretty much. Pretty much. I'm a little bit upset about that Saints game, but that'll be for another time and another place. Orton hit the RKO. Kofi was too close to the ropes. Then they came back up. Kofi hit the Trouble in Paradise. Orton to pick up the win and retain the championship. So actually, clean. So with Kofi winning cleanly and retaining the championship, the question that now has to be asked, Ashley, is who's next?
Don't say that, because then I'll just say Goldberg.
Oh God, don't.
It's just like, honestly, is there anybody left on that span now? Roman's busy because he.
Well,
are there any heels left on? Hang on. List of WWE personnel.
Now,
I need to see who might be.
While Ash is doing that, there's one thing I definitely have to mention is the fact that I do not like the way that the show was formatted. I mean, how do you place your WWE Championship match ahead of a match that's just a no disqualification match with Eric Rowan and Roman Reigns? I mean, is WWE devaluing the WWE Championship that much to say that, oh, it's not even main event worthy, and we're going to place a match with Roman Reigns and Eric Rowan where no championship was on the line in this match, and we're going to put that. We're going to make you guys follow that. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Aleister Black disappeared.
That too.
Ali'd have to turn heel, I guess. Andrade, but I don't know whether he deserves being pushed already to that far up when he hasn't even sort of really won.
Man, Aleister Black didn't disappear. Wasn't he on SmackDown Live this past week?
I lose track of that stuff.
Yeah, he faced off against Shelton Benjamin, if I'm not mistaken.
Bryan may be busy, but I don't know whether we need to see Kofi and Bryan again. Also, I don't think Bryan would go to Saudi, so, you know.
Yeah, that too.
Lars Sullivan's still injured.
Yeah, he's going to be gone for like, a good 6 months?
I mean, if there is a god, Hell in a Cell needs to be Kofi Kingston versus Rusev.
Well, I think
that's the only one that fits.
Well, yeah.
That's the only one that fits. Because Hell in a Cell is going to be before the draft, so it's got to realistically be somebody. Then again, we saw Raw people win the SmackDown tag titles tonight, so who knows? Also, I do like the fact that the list of WWE personnel says that Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods are still SmackDown tag team champions.
Yay!
So the pay-per-view never happened, according to Wikipedia.
Well, there are some points on this pay-per-view that I wish didn't happen. Yay! Like the way they formatted the show. Yay! Because up next it was the no disqualification match. It's Eric Rowan. By the way, that's Rowan with a W. Taking on Roman Reigns, and that's Roman with an M. You guys,
that's Rowan. No, that's Rowan.
Oh,
that's Roman. That's Roman with a W. That's Roman with a W and Rowan with an M. That's the way you need to do it.
Okay. Yeah, it's not like Kitty's already confused as fuck as to what we're talking about, right, Kitty?
Nope.
Okay.
Nuzlocke.
Well, now, with this being a no DQ match, I was not surprised to see a fast start to the match with Roman going out to the ramp to start the fight with Roman there. Also, I wasn't surprised to see the fight spill out to the audience, Rowan clobbering Roman with a trash can, among other things. And did you see the the girl that was right there who put her hand on the back of Roman Reigns and then she just wanted to faint. It was like right before it was like right before the trash can spot, and I think she was like wearing a pink shirt, and she just reached out and put her hand on Roman. She just smiled and then acted like she was gonna pass out, like
yeah,
something like that. I mean, really, I mean, get your
if it's somebody's dream to touch somebody, you know, that they adore, that they idolize, that will happen.
Kitty, what would be the appropriate response to say like that? Like, what would be a way that I can insult the situation without offending anybody? That she reached out, she touched Roman Reigns on the back as he was reeling from Eric Rowan, and then she acted like she was about to pass out. I mean,
I would be like, if you truly respect your hero, then don't be so disrespectful in his presence.
Overcome with emotion.
Well, that too. That too, because it's there's an energy when you're there in person. There's an excitement level when you're there, and you're seeing people that you've seen for so long on TV, like right in your face.
Really?
Yeah.
It's your idol. You know what that means?
Roman Reigns ain't my idol. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, about her. Okay.
It's their idol. You know what that means?
Oh no. No. Don't no. No, Ash. No, we're not going to.
What it apparently means is Rowan going for the camera jib again, and Roman pulling out basically scaffolding.
Yeah, it's some sort of scaffolding tool
that would be put up to sort of be the base of the stand, sort of thing.
Yeah,
like remember on the old school ECW sets where they just literally put the scaffolding up.
Yeah,
it was that.
Yeah,
except it was painted black. It looked nice.
Oh.
Then after a Superman punch, Roman had designs on hitting his spear, but would get intercepted by, of all people, a returning
big boot
Luke Harper with that big boot, thus reuniting the Bludgeon Brothers as they went to work dismantling Reigns. Harper hitting the discus clothesline, which set up the finish with Rowan hitting the Iron Claw slam on Roman to pick up the win. Also, according to someone signed tonight, Eric Rowan giggles at DOA volleyball. Wonder what that means.
Yeah. Hey, there's a lot of teenage boys that couldn't afford dirty magazines that just turned them jiggle physics up on Extreme Beach Volleyball on the Xbox 360. I can't say that because I've never had a 360.
I have.
I know there was ridiculous jiggle though in Dead or Alive 2.
Yes.
Just it wasn't a beach volleyball game.
No, it wasn't.
Also the sign was wrong. The actual title of the game is Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. You missed out 2 words there.
Okay, I have a question for the two of you.
Yes.
Oh.
What is your favorite wrestler that you both can agree on?
Triple H.
Has to be a male. Has to be a guy.
Triple H.
Yeah.
Triple H in his prime.
I mean, yes.
Not the Triple H of now. Triple H in his prime. Like anywhere between 2000 to 2010.
I mean, to some extent. But then that also includes when he put the black man down in Booker T at WrestleMania 19. So it's like, really? Surely Stone Cold would be the obvious one.
Well, yeah, Stone Cold.
Stone Cold is the obvious one.
Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Every time I see that Fox advert where Stone Cold's in the restaurant and the guy smashes it down, and the 4-piece string quartet just suddenly go. And then Stone Cold just goes, "Oh hell yeah!" It's like yes. Yes.
So that's your favorite for the two of you?
Yes,
I'd say so.
Okay.
What about
That's
you?
perfect because I don't have a favorite wrestler. but I just caught a Nido King, so I'm gonna name it Stone Cold.
Awesome.
Baga.
I figured it looks like a wrestler, might as well name it after one. Since we're on the topic anyways.
And not only...
And it's male, it's a Nido King, so...
Now, actually, with Luke Harper returning and basically the Bludgeon Brothers reuniting, where does this leave...
You know what that means?
Where does this leave Daniel Bryan? Where does it leave Bryan in this whole angle?
Is this all a secret plan? Because remember, he was part of the Wyatt family back in the day.
No, that, yeah. He was.
Is he secretly the true head of the Wyatt family? Does Fiends run off to do other stuff? Like be in a fun house and stuff? I don't know.
Why do we,
or is it...
Kitty, let him in. Let him in, Kitty. Let him in.
Especially Vince McMahon eating money. That was the best bit. Yeah.
What the fuck did I just pick up? Oh! I've never in my life seen this item before.
Oh.
Ash, do you know what a soul do is?
Is it like the stuff that comes down and rests on the grass at night, except it's done via the power of
that's dew, Ashley.
Lionel.
And we're not talking the dew of the
Lionel.
mountain.
You said soul dew. Except it's water that's only produced by listening to Lionel Richie and the Communards.
But what does that soul do?
No. It's an item that's specific for Latios and Latios.
Well, as we make with the bad jokes here on the podcast tonight.
Randomize is actually in full effect on that Nuzlocke. Dear Lord.
Yeah.
I feel like I should just sell this because the chances of me getting a Latios or Latios seem pretty high, but it's like I have a higher chance of fighting them than finding them.
Please sell it, and please let it be 1,000,000 jillion credits.
Well, as we interrupt this Nuzlocke gameplay for our randomly scheduled review of Clash of Champions, it's finally time for the main event.
More interesting than main event.
Well, you know what? I might have to disagree with you on a few things about that. The Universal Champion...
It went too long.
Well, it did. But I felt like they needed to do... Well, again, officially, Seth Rollins defending the title against Braun Strowman. Now, they had to do a few things to make this match special, and I feel like on some aspects that they did do it. I mean, Rollins with the repeated suicide dives onto Strowman and seeing the announcer's table collapse under the sheer weight of Braun Strowman. By the way, Kitty, Braun Strowman, 6'8", 385 pounds. Just to give you allegedly, just to give you a vague idea of how big this guy really is. Now, I'm not exactly sure if that was... Yeah, he's the big guy with the beard. I think you might have some cards with him on Supercard.
I've gotten Braun Strowman several times, but I'm just mad at myself right now.
No, I'm not exactly sure, actually, was the... I don't know if that was the spot where he got the cut on his nose, but that's what it looked like. It's like from those repeated suicide dives, and maybe something to do with him hitting against the announcer's table that caused a cut.
It may have been just one of the moves. It might not, you know.
Damn it.
It was only sort of a little nick of a cut, in all honesty.
But
it wasn't like as big as a cut as we saw in the boxing last night. Dear Lord, that was sort of like... Youch!
Alright, well, Kitty, keep this...
Well, I just accidentally deleted my game.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's not good. But, Kitty, keep this image in your head, because this is what happened. Braun Strowman, right, 6'8", 385 pounds. Right, you got that image? He's climbing the top... He's climbing to the top rope, and leaps off of the top rope with a splash to Seth Rollins. That's a heck of a thing to see, wouldn't you say? A guy that's that big doing something like that?
I feel terrified now, and I want to take a bath or a shower, because that makes me cringe so much.
But yeah, you have to admit, Ashley, that splash off the top was a sight to behold.
To be honest, I was getting flashbacks to Wicked. See if Billy knows where the joke's going. Because that was defying gravity. Whee!
Oh.
Yeah.
Why did I not see that coming? But I think the last time I saw
Because you
somebody...
don't know Wicked.
Oh, God. I think the last time I saw somebody that big doing something like that was the Big Show when he was in WCW as the Giant. He did a lot of moves, I'm going to say early on in his career, off the top rope.
He did it a year or so back, didn't he? For one match when he was up against whether it was Braun or one of the other big guys.
I think it was only a
amazingly it didn't.
I think it was only
It didn't break the
ring.
ring. There was something where he went off the top. It was sort of a similar thing. It was just a simple sort of dive. Nothing sort of super special.
However, upon impact of the splash, Strowman would have issues with his knee. Now, for the finish, listen to this. It took Seth Rollins using not one, not two.
Kick out at one. Kick out at two.
You would think at the third one it would be a 3 count, but no, he still kicked
Kick out two.
Then Rollins would hit a pedigree. That's a Triple H's finishing move, Kitty. And finally,
Hi, Paul.
And a 4th stomp to put the monster down for the 3 count. So Seth Rollins retains the Universal Championship, but the fun wasn't over here yet, folks.
No. Don't neglect the fact that when that curb stomp stuff was happening, the fans were booing.
Yeah, they were.
Keep that in mind. They were like, we get it. You're this super uber over guy. Wooloo. No, that's a Pokemon. It was only when he hit the pedigree and it's like, it's a new move. Except it isn't a new move because that's what he did when he wasn't allowed to do the stomp.
Yeah.
Is that only effective because that's what Triple H did to him? Like, oh God, please don't tell me because that's what Triple H did to him. Like months and months and months ago. That's sort of part of the payback for what happened next. Because it's interesting. Apparently normally when the bell goes and it's the end of the match, people flee because it's like, shit, it's late, we've got to get to the car. Nobody left because they just thought they've got to do it.
Yeah.
And then
something happened.
Vince, actually learning something from Paul Levesque, realized we can do the whole thing of putting the graphic in the corner and then shit going down afterwards as if it's an after credit scene for a Marvel film. And the lights go out and everybody in the arena apparently got deafened because it's that loud in there and that high pitched that people were actually bleeding from the ear. Sister Abigail'd him. Then
the mandible
after
claw.
Consulting with the hurt glove, inserting with the hurt glove, did the mandible claw. And all of a sudden the crowd were like, yes! And they were cheering this bad heel because that's how good the character is of Bray Wyatt / The Fiend.
Remember, Kitty,
that's going to be really good. It's like this evil man who's going to probably win at Hell in a Cell is going to be cheered out the building for doing so. Yay! And Vince is like, no! And we're like, ha ha!
Kitty, remember, you have to let him in. Let him in, Kitty.
Russell, did you see the pictures I sent you guys?
Yeah.
So I actually made them that color.
Oh.
Well, they took a look at that.
Apparently he's been let in already.
Well, on that note, guys and gals, it's time for overall score and thoughts. several matches that definitely stood above the rest on the Clash tonight. One very notably being the Raw Women's Championship match with Becky and Sasha, and the Universal Championship match and the post-match activities involving Rollins and The Fiend. The no DQ match with Rowan and Roman, I felt, did what it needed to do, and at least they're using Luke Harper again. The Bludgeon Brothers gimmick worked for them, so I'd like to see them use that again. Sadly, though, I felt the WWE Championship match with Kofi and Orton kind of fell flat, and I 100% disagree with WWE bumping the U.S. title match to the Kickoff show. Overall score of Clash of Champions gets a 3.25 out of 5, with best match of the night going to the Universal Championship match, with the Raw Women's Championship match coming in at a very, very close second. Also, with all the build-up and the hype going into the WWE Championship match with Kofi and Orton, it just felt like to me that it didn't deliver. But maybe it's just me. Ashley, over to you. Overall score and thoughts?
2.5. I mean, it's supposed to be a B pay-per-view, but it felt like something that should have been a 3-hour Raw. You know, Clash of the Champions style, ironically, from back in the day, rather than an actual sort of proper pay-per-view.
Very quickly, just reference what you were talking about for those of you who don't know. Back in the era of WCW, Clash of the Champions was never a pay-per-view of sorts for WCW. It was always a special that they had on certain days. On TBS.
TBS aired it basically for free, but it'd be pay-per-view quality matches.
Yes.
In most cases.
So I just wanted to make sure we got that out there for everyone to understand that. But,
I guess, but in this case, the matches that you had on it seem more like the equivalent of stuff that you get on Raw or SmackDown. You know, the fact that Kofi won clean without really the RKO sort of having its proper effect. Like, I thought there was going to be a super RKO, because it was like, well, that just seems sort of an inevitable thing to do. Maybe it's because they did it in the post, you know, a few weeks before, that sort of ruined that idea. The US title match sort of buried Alexander, which I sort of feel saddened for. Cruiserweight, because not enough people stay around to watch it after SmackDown. Didn't have the impact that it should have had. The Raw tag thing, why should I care about Roode and Ziggler? Because I didn't even care about it when it was Seth and Braun, for that matter. It's only because it got shooed into the main event sort of angle that it was. Putting Roman where it was ahead of a world title thing is stupid booking for me. Okay, it had the nice pop in the end of Luke Harper coming back from his self-imposed exile, if you want to call it that. Apparently, you know, if we're going on with the way that happened and the way it happened with Sasha, apparently you should try and leave the company, and then after 3 months you actually get put in a big angle. So we're looking forward to what you're doing, Finn. Yes.
And Kitty, you have any final thoughts on the podcast tonight?
That show thing that you were talking about that happened on Wednesday?
Yes.
And you said, what time was it?
It'd be at 7 p.m. Central Time.
8 a.m. Eastern?
No, p.m.
Right,
8
p.m.
8 p.m. Eastern to 10. 2 hours.
Okay. I might join you. It depends upon what I work that day.
Alright, well, guys and gals, that's been our thoughts on WWE's Clash of the Champions for this year. What we want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on WWE Clash of Champions. What were your overall scores? What are your thoughts on the show? What were your picks for the best match and the worst match of Clash of Champions? We definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, be sure you slam that like button, like a champ, and if you guys want to see more of WrestleDOWN right here on the channel, you know the 2 ways you got to do it. You got to leg up the subscribe button and hit that bell icon to turn on notifications, so that way you guys will never miss out on another video right here on my channel. So with my special thanks to the Studley Man Ashley and our resident outside observer looking in, Miss Kitty, I'm your friendly neighborhood Wrestle Gamer, reminding all of you guys out there to just stay awesome. Bye, guys!